Good afternoon. How are you? We're going live early this week because I am actually going to be gone tomorrow off to the beach with my family. So everything gets moved up a day. So I thought I would come on and address just one more question that came on that wonderful survey. I'm so glad I did that. It's contouring. So many of you are nervous about it or think that they can't do it. But I'm here to tell you it's really not. Just playing on my light a little bit. It's not as intimidating as one would think. It's pretty dang easy. So I am going to share with you the easiest, most basic way to contour your face. So before we even get started, I am going to prime my face with Stay Spray. I used to really not be able to put it on my skin, but lately I've been able to, so I'm going to use it as a primer. And I just spray it on my sponge and kind of pat it even on my eyes because I'm going to do some eyeshadow today. This has an SPF, so it will stay there, and we'll let it dry. So first things first is when you're choosing your contour color, or when I'm choosing one for you or recommending a color for you, why am I recommending a certain color? Basically, it's based on your skin tone, your hair color, your brow color, the color of highlight that we've recommended for you, how dark you like your contour. But all of our contours are ashy in tone. They're not necessarily warm, and they should not be. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be ashy in tone. So these are all contour shades. This is not all of them. This is just what I have in my personal stash. I switch my contours up often. I use contour to line my lips, my eyes, my brows. I use it for a lot of things, so I have a lot of different shades. But as my skin tone gets darker over the summer, my contour is getting darker as well. So that all factors in. But contouring, all we're doing is mimicking shadows on your face. So you always see when I tell you to look for that natural shadow, you can see it here. I have something going on here. Oh, I burned myself with a curling iron yesterday. That was fun. I have a natural shadow here. You have a natural shadow here. You can see it. You have natural shadows along your nose. And you have a natural shadow here at your jawline. All you're doing is placing product in those spots. The nose is really optional. I like to do it, but not everybody does. Just to enhance the shadow, bring dimension to your face, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick hack. Like I said, I put my Stay Spray on. If you use a setting spray as your primer, let it dry before you get going, just so it has a chance to set in. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my brush real quick, and we're just going to do a super fast highlight, and then I'll go over the contour with you all. Okay, I'm just cleaning my brush on a towel, and I'm going to go right in. I have a little more redness than normal today. We were on the beach all morning and then in the yard, so I'm a little extra sunny. If anyone jumps on, say hey. I'm just going to dim my light slightly so you can see it's a little better because I actually left the room light on and I shouldn't have. I'm just throwing amber all over my redness. Nice stippling motion. So if I recommend an all over color for you, that's where you're going to put all over. You can leave your contour spots open. I like full coverage. That place where I burned myself, I'm just going to pat that on. I just did a tiny touch of my finger and it's gone. So the coverage is really good. It's light. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey. I am going all over with the amber because, like I said, I got too much sun today. The boys had a play date with a friend and we stayed out there for a while. And now I have to work in the afternoon. Okay, so highlight's pretty easy. I go 2 colors. Usually I recommend 2 colors for you all. An all over color and a brightening color, which I'll do next, and I'll show you how I brighten. So all that redness has been addressed. I prime my lids with my color. I have veins and discoloration on my lids, so I cover that. And then I really like the stippling motion of pressing in any makeup, even if you use liquid. Push it into your skin, but with creams it really is beautiful. Okay, so that is my all over highlight. Now I'm going to switch brushes to the Detail Hack Brush, and I'm going to take my brightening color, which is White Peach, and like rays of the sun, I'm going to bring it under my eye. So this is where you raise, and I go right into the tear duct. See how much brighter that is? And I bring it down in like a triangle pie piece shape. I even like to do a little under my brow, and then I'll do above my brow more a little bit after I do my brows. And that's just creating lift and brightness, and another step of dimension. And again, we're bringing it down. Don't just do the circle. Okay, now I will place a little more highlight down here, put a little bit here. And as always, we do the blending sponge after, and that helps. Okay, so now we're going to contour. I like, for contouring, just basic contouring, I like the dome end of the 30-second hack brush. It is just my preference. I've used the dome end of the B squared. Sometimes I use the Detail Hack Brush, and I just load my product on the side, this blunt edge, and kind of feather it there. It lays really flat against it, so that's great. This I use for nose contour, so that's really easy. So you really can't go wrong as far as which brush you choose. It's your preference. For a beginner contour, I tend to like the Detail Hack, because you'll see with this one, you have to kind of pinch it and shape the brush. And if you're new to contouring, that might intimidate you slightly. It's super easy, but for a beginner, I usually recommend the Detail Hack for that. But I'm going to go ahead and use the color Astoria. I'm going to swatch it. See how it almost has gray tones to it? That's the ashy color that we're looking for. See how it looks like a shadow? That's what you want in a contour. Bronzer and contour are not created equal. A bronzer is a really warm contour. Now we have some contours that are on the warmer side for someone who has a warmer skin tone, but they're not warm. They're not bronze like a bronzer. So our contours are thicker than the highlights, so I tend to load up the brush a good amount. And when you're doing your forehead contour, again, I like that stippling motion. You're just going along that hairline, down your temple. I tried to pull my hair back today so you all could see. And depending how high your forehead is, you're going to bring it down. Now I have a pretty high forehead, so I'm using a good amount of space. So when you're creating the shadow with contour, think about shadows and think about light. Things that are light and bright come forward. You see the center of my forehead more than you see back here. This is going to recede back. It's not going to draw the eye as much. This triangle of light is where we're trying to bring our focus to your eyes. So that's what that's doing. So we're just going to softly feather that into your hairline. Okay? And, you know, stippling it along, I like to use them. Again, I cannot say enough. Stippling makes a huge difference in any makeup application. Try it. If you try the stipple method, I don't care what product you use, report back and tell me how you like it. I promise you, the blend-in finish is much better. So it's nice and blended, but now you can see that I have a nice shadow here. That wasn't hard at all. It was so easy. Took what, 2 seconds? And then we'll blend it again with the sponge. Now, cheek contour. Again, I'm just swiping into that. Find that natural shadow. I like to pinch my brush just slightly. So here it is, kind of all poofy. I'm just going to kind of close it up a tiny bit just so I can push and press that right under the cheekbone. Now, if you have a very round shape to your face, you're going to probably contour a little differently. See, I'm kind of hooking mine forward like a scoop. But this part here, see how like it's very light? Because I'm not placing product there. Your darkest point of your contour should be here by your ear and your hairline, coming up by almost where your, almost like just slightly above your tragus. And then you're going to come down here. They call this the zymatic arch. So you're coming right under that cheekbone. You should feel it, and you're going to push up against it. You should feel yourself butting up against that cheekbone. And you're going to scoop it forward. And I'm going to do the other side. Again, see that natural shadow? You can see it. Do this in a well-lit spot so you can see your shadows and where you're placing it. And of course, if you are a customer of mine and you're struggling, or if you're not a customer of mine and you're struggling, message me. I am happy to do, what do you call it? I don't have an iPhone, so it's not FaceTime, like not a Zoom call. Messenger chat, like a video chat on Messenger. We can do that. I do it all the time. So again, I'm just taking that dark product. So when you're going, your first stamp down is going to be up by your ear. So you're getting the concentration of your product here, and then you're going to push it, press it down. So you're pulling that forward, and the lighter amount of your product is going here, with the higher concentrations up by your ear. And I like to scoop it forward. Now, if you have a really round and full face, I generally don't recommend the scoop. You don't necessarily need it, more of just an angle. If your face is very, like, I don't want to use, like very thin. That's the word I'm looking for. Words are hard today. If your face is very thin, you're going to want to scoop that cheekbone because you're creating a cheekbone. For me, I'm kind of in the middle. I don't have a super round face, but my face is not very thin, so scooping it for me is fine. And if you find you go too low, just go back to your highlight end and then just kind of come under and you can clean it up. But we're just going to blend it up. Always blend your contour up. Always. Because you're not wanting to drag it down. If I were to drag it down, you're creating the shadow here, not here. And you're going to make yourself look, I don't know, skeletal. It's not a good look. And I'm just slightly blending it out. Because it's a cream product, it's super easy to blend and forgivable. If you mess up with a product that is like powder or even some of the liquids, it's really hard to fix it. You kind of have to wipe clean and start over. With a cream, if I screw up a little and I come too forward or too down, I can just kind of clean it up with highlight and it's perfect. If I put too much on, it really blends out really easily. So now I'm just going to pick up a little bit more. I don't use a ton under my jawline, but I come up by my ear and I'm tracing that jawline. Now, if you have a super square jaw, bringing it up just slightly and laying that contour line just on the edge is going to soften your jaw out. So like I said, there's different ways of doing it for different face shapes. Now all of our highlight and contour is placed. I like to just kind of clean up any excess before I do blush and bronzer. So that wasn't hard, right? Oh, I didn't do the nose. We should do the nose just so you can see it. I like to use the small end of the detail hack for my nose. And I just pat the tip of the brush in there. The trick with nose contour is you can see the shadows. You're wanting your lines to be super close. I'm trying to see over comments. And not terribly thick. And again, on the shape of the nose and what you're looking for is going to make the difference as to how you do it. But for most folks, and you want to kind of come down here, it's just two lines. You connect the two. And honestly, those two lines on the side are not nearly as important as the highlight down the center. I like to put a tiny bit, and this needs to be straight. And then over blending it is the culprit usually. When someone tells me, I can't contour my nose, I can't see it, it's generally because you're over blending. Sometimes you can even just use your finger and just press it and soften those lines. There's going to be a line there. It's not going to look like a stripe, but you're going to have a shadow there. I love a sponge for this. And again, if you're pushing at all, push up. And look at the front of my nose. And then I like to bring just a bit up into my eyebrows. just to create that nice shadow that sits there. Again, it's just natural shadows. There's a natural shadow under my lip. See it there? You can put a little there. I didn't even dip back in. I just put what's naturally there. And creates that natural lip shadow and makes your bottom lip look more pouty. So that's it. That's Contour 101. It doesn't get any easier than that. I promise you it's not as hard. For beginner with contour, I do recommend a cream product just because it is so easy. When I started with mascara, I could not contour to save my life. But I promise you, it is so stinking simple. So I'm just going to throw on some blush. I'm using Hollywood today, which is a nice soft pink with some gold flecks in it. And it kind of goes with my ensemble today. So if you have any questions about contouring or any of the products that I used, let me know. I'm happy to help you. I promise you, any of the girls on here that are my customer will tell you I am not going to harass you. I'm just going to throw some bronzer on. This is Bella Cream Bronzer. I'm not going to harass you until you purchase something. That's not how I run my business. That's not how I got where I am. When I set out to do this, I set out to do it authentically and just show up. And that's what I'm doing. And it's working for me. So don't fear a sales pitch. I'm happy to share the product with you, answer questions you might have, talk to you about what products you already have and maybe help you use those. That's something I've done in the past too. We like to educate. A little illuminator. I'm using honey. And serve this community that I've created here. A little illuminator over that nose contour is going to look so pretty. And then a little bit there. And last but not least, we'll fill my brows, and then I'm going to do eyeshadow for my other group. Again, I'm using that same contour that I did on my face in my brows, Astoria. Starting at the middle and the bottom and the top. Again, because we want the lighter part of our product in the front of the brows. If you have questions on brows or brow color and how to pick it, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, I did a live just on brows, and it was really great. I had girls message me that night saying that they had learned a ton. I had a couple girls order a couple contours just for their brows, and I had some girls go to Ulta that night. One young lady went to Ulta that night, and she knew what she said. She knew what she was doing. She felt good about it, and she was happy, and that is why I'm here. So that's it. Basic contour, brows, done. So I'm going to jump off, but I appreciate you all, as always, for being here. If you have any questions, or if you don't want to message me, that survey is still pinned on this. I think it's pinned to the top of this page. Go back to it. I think it's called like customer survey or something like that. Just fill it out, and it will pop your questions in there for me. I look at it about once a week so I can grab ideas for lives, because the idea is just giving you guys what you need help with. I could jump on here and talk about a whole bunch of things, and maybe it doesn't help anyone. But answering your questions is what really drives this forward. This is what really helps me help you guys. That's what you're here for. So I appreciate you being here. I'm so grateful. If you have any questions, always ask. Never fear asking that question. And I will see you guys next week. Take care.